An alliance between the Orcs of the Misty Mountains and Isengard have come together to defeat the forces of the Hobbits. Now that does sound like it is a bit overkill, however, the Hobbits are not alone this day. The Men of Dale and this legendary fortress is at their disposal, so we'll have to see how this one does turn out in another Rise of Mordor online battle. Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome back. My name is Jackie Fish. So yes, today we have a very exciting battle as we have the Goblins and the Hobbits going at it once again. The Men of Dale have reinforced and the forces of Isengard have come to the aid of Moria. So yeah, it should be very exciting, especially on this map. I always love it when the players take control of this one because it's just such a well-designed map. This entire village outside has its own defenses, all these streets you can pathfind through, so it makes really interesting fighting. And then you finally have this like really awesome last stand upon the hill which has multiple directions to attack from, and the defenders just have to kind of keep on trying to repel their opponents. So yeah, it becomes very, very exciting, especially in a battle like this where we have a pretty sizable force on either side. The attackers have close to 7,000, the defenders have just over 5,000, but again, they do have hobbits at their disposal, so it's not exactly like they're packing the most elite soldiers, you know. A lot of these soldiers that are bringing are going to be these Sheriff Town Watch who have just been absolutely incinerated by that crossbow volley from Isengard, and yeah, that's going to be the Hobbit numbers dropping down very quickly. However, the Hobbits are acting as a very nice meat shield, so you've got to give them credit for that. As well as that, we do actually have some half decent units. No, these are again some just farmers getting cut down. As I said, basically acting as a meat shield. But these guys right here, the Baggins Private Guard, are pretty decent. And if you're wondering how I got access to these units, it is going to be because it is part of the overhaul mod for Rise of Mordor. I guess it's a sub mod, not an overhaul mod. Basically adds in Moria, the Goblins, it adds in the Hobbits, along with some other Breland infantry. I think there's going to be like Breland archers up here and stuff like that. Yeah, you can see there, the Dunedain Woodlanders right here are part of the sub mod and in the faction. I think some of these guys are again going to be part of the overhaul of a sub mod, which again kind of adds to the Hobbit roster, giving them a little bit more strength. So yeah, it's really cool. I'll make sure to link it down below in the description, as well as that I am in desperate need of more Rise of Mordor replays, guys. So if you want to be a part of these battles, and again a massive shout out to the guys who sent in these replays, I really appreciate it, and keep them coming. But I do need more of them, I can never have not have enough of them. So I'll make sure to link the Rise of Mordor Discord as well down below in the description. And if you want to just be a part of these battles, you want to go ahead and give up your 30-40 minutes of your time to play an awesome battle and get featured on the channel, and just join the Discord, go in the matchmaking, say you're looking for battles, and I'm sure you'll find other people to play with, and you can send me in some replays and get on the channel. So it's a great way to help support it, because yeah, you guys who play these battles are the real MVPs. But going back to the battle that has now kicked off with this awesome sally forth by the Hobbits, I don't really know what they expected to achieve here, but they're getting slaughtered by the Goblin Pikes. Goblin Pikes are having their way with the Hobbits, and it's not pretty, and they're going to be able to repel them pretty easily. The low tier Hobbits are basically just a meat shield. They're very, very useless, but they are tiring up some of the infantry. And oh no, this unit of really heavy Moria warmongers are going up against the farmers, and now more pikes are turning up as well. That is not good news for them at all. I really like this Moria heavy goblin pike unit. They look really good, like really, really good. Massive shout out to the sub mod for adding them in. Yeah, the Moria faction looks really clean. It's one of my favorite factions, I think, in Rise of Mordor in general, and this is like a sub faction as well, so that's really cool. But yeah, basically these Hobbits are going to get moved out of the way very quickly. It's kind of unfortunate that the defenders didn't get a better opportunity to use these Hobbits, because normally, when you have meat shields like this, obviously, yes, you want to use them to absorb ammunition and kind of keep the enemy at bay and slow them up. But you also really want to be shooting them whilst you're doing this as well. So like the defenders want to be unleashing volleys into these big clumps of melee engagements, because it's the best way to, it doesn't really matter if you hit your own men because they're really cheap and crappy. Also, look how small the Hobbits look to these Uruk-hai. Merry and Pippin, they would look but children to your eyes. Yeah, the Uruk-hai could quite easily pick these Hobbits up and run away with them. These poor farmers do not stand a chance against the Uruk-hai. at all. And these are kind of more of the Uruk-hai that were at Amon Hen when they took Merry and Pippin. You know, much more kind of lighter Uruk-hai. But we do actually have finally a heavy unit of infantry coming in for the defenders. And they're going to be charging in. This unit is going to be the Greenway Vanguards. They've got this huge shield on their back and they are wielding the two-handed swords. So they can get stuck in, but we do have some half-orc axes and more of the forces coming through. And this is one of the reasons why this map is so awesome, because you could do stuff like this. You can completely outflank your opponent by running through a small street, and it's just cool. You know, normal Total War doesn't really allow you to do anything like this. It normally has like 2 or 3 channels, and that's about it. Whereas it's just so cool. You can go through, you can even like go through this street, you can move a fort unit around here, come through here, you can go through like every single gap you see, you can pretty much get a unit through it, and that's just so cool to me. Like, it just adds so much more kind of, I don't know, epicness to the battle, because it kind of makes you feel like you're fighting for every street, and that's cool, you know. It really is, rather than just fighting over 1 or 2 choke points. I love these maps like this, you know, and this is kind of just the outer defense as well. When you get to the keep, it's much more defensible. This is just a village. You know, this is where people live. The Baggins Guard fighting bravely on it. It's so hilarious watching the Hobbits fight. They're trying their best, and these are kind of the top tier Hobbits, so they can still do a little bit of damage, but I'm sure the Uruk-hai will be able to cut them down in no time. Do we have any assaults coming around here? No, we actually have quite a few routing units. Are these Hobbits? Yeah, these are all the Hobbits routing. So we have a nice force moving around this corner from the Goblins of Moria. They're going to be advancing forward, looking to assault this, this hilltop. And really just get around, because there is a gate around the back. Do they have any siege towers with them? No, they just have a battering ram, unfortunately. Yeah, that kind of sucks. I mean, I actually know maybe you can't get a... Yeah, but it looks like you can't actually get a siege tower up here. It's just a battering ram. Well, they're going to be pretty vulnerable, I think, to the missile fire. If any archers do go up, there is more infantry you can see being moved down. You have another big push here by more of the Dunlin tribesmen of Isengard. They're going to be coming around the back of the fortress, looking to see if they can find any weaknesses in the defense. Which again is a pretty smart idea. You want to try and attack from every single position. And also using like these Dunlin tribesmen is going to be perfect to absorb all of this javelin fire from the Rivermen of Dale. Yeah, because, you know, that javelin fire can do a lot of damage. But yeah, more soldiers being brought out, but we do have some heavy goblin pikes being rushed into position here to go ahead and help support to kill the hobbits. God damn it. Just let the hobbits fight one-on-one. Give them a chance, for pity's sake. It seems like this outer village, though, is almost being ceded. Besides the brave hobbits that fought and died here, it seems like for the most part, they are kind of giving up this outer defense. They're also preemptively bringing up their siege towers, which is always awesome to see. Instead of having to wait 20 minutes for these to come up, they're, you know, bringing them up early before they do get ready to assault. They're going to need siege towers to, you know, hit down this wall, try and bring it down as best as they can. So it's a good idea to bring them up early, so you can just keep the momentum going in these battles. You want to keep on assaulting and keep on pushing. There is also a unit of these guys right here, which is smart that they've kind of put them in here. Some of the sappers for Isengard, basically like in Helm's Deep when they blow up the wall, that's what this unit is supposed to do. So if this unit can kind of get round here, they can quite easily make our breach in this wall very, very easily. So if they want to do that, they should totally try and attempt that. We do have some archers being brought out from Dale, the marksmen of Dale, who do, again, look so good. I mean, just look at that. That really does look clean. The bowmen are going to be reforming, getting ready to fight. Also, especially when you have the javelin men up on the walls as well. Looks very, very cool. But yeah, the ranks of Dale looking awesome. And they're going to be firing off a few shots towards the tribesmen that are hiding kind of, you know, pretty securely behind this. I can't imagine. There you go, another volley going out. Oh, it looks so good. So good. Are they gonna cuck me again? I want to zoom in and get a good screenshot of this for the thumbnail, but they're just refusing to let me. Also look at the detail on their bows as well. As soon as I look away, they you know, notch their bows. And you can see they got some good damage off of these Uruk-hai. A lot of red on the ground, a lot of blood and damage off on that unit. But yeah, I'm very interested to see what they do with this unit of sappers, because that can be so influential, you know. But it doesn't really seem like there's a lot around here either. at all. Yeah, there's hardly any infantry around here. They're kind of focusing very heavily on the frontal assault, which again is not a bad plan at all. We have got an assault going on right now as the goblins, sorry, not the Uruks, there's some Uruks in there, but mainly the goblins advance forward and try and breach through this shipman defense. Now, these shipmen have been buffed, I think, in kind of the more recent patches for Rise of Mordor. So instead of being kind of more of a lower tier infantry, they definitely can hold their own now for Dale. They're kind of more of their bog standard, cheap but not awful infantry. Whereas the men of Dale, the heavier infantry like these guys are very much more of a top tier from what I understand. So the shipmen are a lot better, and they also have that javelin throw as well, which can really benefit them. This is quite dangerous for the forces of evil. The fact that they're like clumping up this much leaves them very vulnerable to any missile fire, any artillery. Not that I think they have any artillery in the defending side. But even still, they have to be careful with this one. They can't overcommit because this is kind of a bit of a smaller battle. Also, I love the swords as well for the goblins. Really, really good, cool stuff. More of the Isengard forces are rushing in, but they are going, proving that they are just like kind of like meat shields right now. For all the arrow fire, these defenders are in such a good position right now, getting revenge for their Hobbit friends. And you can see them just volleying down inside the city and definitely racking up a lot of kills whilst they do that. Yeah, you can really see them doing a great job as more and more of the attackers get closer and closer in them. And I love the way, and I always say this, but I love the way that they do kind of like hide behind the wall and stuff. There's kind of small additions like that that was really cool in this game. So more of the Isengard half-orc axes are being broken, and there's just so much arrow fire, and the defenders have done a great job of kind of tilting the attackers so that they've got their sides to the archer fire. How much ammunition do the archers have? Still plenty, but they are starting to dwindle just a tad. They've still got lots of ammunition to shoot off. They do need to be kind of careful. A really nice move right here by the goblins, coming right into the side of the shipmen and the Brelanders. This is a really nice position. Obviously leaves them extremely vulnerable to arrow fire, which I'm sure the archers will be trying to take pot shots off at them, which you can see. But still a very nice envelopment. I actually managed to break one of the units. I think they use this passage right here to get around the side, and I love to see that. Oh, sorry about that. I think my member alert just went off. I think we just got 2 members, and I'm using OBS, which I use for streaming as well. So big shout out to Blaine Kenny and also Chris O'Heath for becoming members on the channel. Nice little shout out because you just so happened to go ahead and hit that membership button, or maybe your membership just renewed on this time whilst I'm recording. So yeah, big shout out to you guys. But back to the battle anyway. We do have more of the Isengard forces being broken, but they just have so many numbers that it doesn't really matter. They can keep on throwing them against them, and you can see the balance of power is looking pretty good for them. They outnumber the defenders very heavily. After losing the hobbits, the numbers dramatically went back in favor of the attackers, which is kind of what you want to see in these battles. You definitely want to see the attackers with a large force, and holy crap, how did they get through this gate? The gate is still alive. Maybe it glitched out and the attackers just sprinted through here. I mean, I imagine they're going to get repelled, but they can try and take down some of these Dalian Spear Guard. Or at least tire them out, maybe. I don't think this assault is ever going to be, effective and all. We have a very nice position right here. These poor Uruk-hai infantry do not stand a chance. But again, they are absorbing a fair amount of ammunition, even though they are getting decimated. So I guess it's a unit worth shooting. But yeah, it's going to take out these these 2 units of javelins, or at least 1 unit of the javelins from the battle. The archers are kind of running low. This unit right here, over 200 kills, though, is pretty nice. But yeah, the numbers are looking pretty dangerous right now, and the bowmen need to start racking up the kills. I think if the forces of good are going to stand a chance, because a lot of arrow fire is coming in, and it's finding their mark. There's just so many evil units pushing forward. As the goblins continue to march up the hill, so they've basically completely taken the village. And this is where it gets a little bit trickier for the attackers, because the attackers have now... Oh, actually, there's a few pockets of resistance that have been enveloped. But I can't imagine they'll really remain alive for much longer. But yeah, they're basically completely given up the village now. There's no real reason to hold it. They've lost a large amount of their force trying to hold it with the hobbits. And now they're having to fall back to the keep. But, you know, this keep is not going to be easy to take, is it? As long as they have the ammunition, as long as they have the arrow fire, stuff like that will happen. And, you know, every single volley will kill 10, 15 goblins. And that will start to accumulate. And they're just going to slowly start to run out of steam. As long as I can get these siege towers up and into action, though, it's going to go ahead and look very good for the attackers. But now they have to actually try and break through this one choke point. There is only one position here which they can break through, and that is going to be held by the Dalian Sword Guard, which are very well set up. However, a pretty brutal volley coming in here by the attacking archers. That's like 4 units of arrows coming in, and yeah, really doing some serious damage. There is a unit of archers all the way down here, though. Oh no, don't worry. Did it just break? I'm not sure what that unit was. Oh no, it was this unit right here we're looking at. But even still, there's so much arrow fire coming in here by the evil factions. But they are clearly, you know, taking these guys out. Maybe this will be a good idea just to fall back your archers, seeing that there's so much ammunition. But maybe the defenders want them to waste their ammunition on their bowmen. It's just, you know, losing every archer is going to be painful. It really, really is. But they have plenty more back here, so it's fine. And now the attackers are kind of stuck, you know, pushing on these points. Because this is not going to... Oh my god, look at that, I guess, road of death leading in here. Yeah, you know, this is going to be quite easily repelled. And there's nothing else really coming through here besides the sappers that are just sitting in that siege tower. So now the attackers are kind of stuck attacking 2 positions rather than 3. They've got some bowmen up here looking to try and soften up the defenders. There's also a lot of arrow fire coming in as well. Because the thing is, you really need to try and break through this gate with full numbers. Because the burning oil will just hurt so much. Unless you have like artillery to try and destroy it. You have to be very careful. Also, I love the look of these goblin bowmen as well. They're very simple, but they look great. So we're just going to try and use our archers to soften them up, maybe try and absorb some ammunition. I think that's what the hobbits are being used for once again. Brought in here to act as a meat shield while some of their archers do shoot. I'm surprised that no archers have kind of got up in this position. The Dale General as well. Yeah, I'm surprised the Dalian bowmen haven't got like up here. I imagine they would get much better shots off, or maybe even over here because it has some protection with the roofing right here above the gate. But they are deciding to sit down there. How is the assault going on right here? I mean, I'd say the goblins are making progress, but they're definitely taking casualties. How's advanced power looking? So it's about 2-1 right now. 4,000 for the attackers and 2,000 for the defenders. The defenders are losing men pretty fast to, I assume, all this arrow fire flying in. So this is kind of what you want to see, you know, for a good battle, you kind of want to see 2-1 in favor of the attackers, and normally that number does start to dwindle. I'm very surprised, though, that the Dale player is leaving his archers right here. Like, in a defense, obviously these archers are so valuable, and right now they're kind of just stuck here, but maybe he just wants to kind of try and run out the ammunition of the enemy bowmen, and they have managed to kill. They are exchanging pretty well with the goblin bowmen. I think these are just like Mordor rabble, right, for Isengard. Yeah, these are just Mordor rabble that have kind of been loaned to them by Sauron. So I guess it's kind of okay to trade with them, you know, but you look at that arrow fire coming in, and they have only lost 30 men, so I guess it's not too bad, and they are killing the opponent archers, so maybe I am mistaken in kind of saying this is quite dangerous for them to do this, because the Marksmen of Dale are such a good bowman unit. They'll trade very effectively. But I guess that's kind of one of the strengths again for Isengard as well, is they're kind of exchanging kind of crappy bow, you know, like bow rabble with some Marksmen of Dale. So it's a very interesting exchange. I'm also very surprised that this unit of Uruk-hai have managed to, they basically do as well as they have at this gate. I think they've managed to get away from the burning oil, and that's definitely pushed them in the right direction. But there's no way they're going to be strong enough to break through this. You need some like elite berserkers, maybe some heavy Uruk-hai infantry to get this job done. And it's kind of unfortunate because I feel like on these maps like this, you end up with a situation like this. You just don't commit enough soldiers in one place. You know, it's very hard to commit, you know, a decent force in every single position because you'll end up leaving at least one weak. Or it just takes far too long to reinforce this area, so you kind of just give up on it and try and steamroll through the other positions, which is kind of what the players are doing today. But, you know, it's going to take them forever to get any of this infantry round here and up. So we're just going to kind of commit to this fight. And there we go, exactly like I was saying, some Bardings are going to be pushed up here. These are the best archers in the game, the Bardings. So you can definitely expect them to rack up some pretty decent kills on their opponents down here on the Goblin Spearmen. The Spearmen, though, are turning to face them to, you know, take some of this arrow fire. But the Bardings will be able to find the weakness in their armor, I'm sure. Probably between the neck. And I guess these attackers are just simply waiting for the assault over here to happen. You know, as soon as these siege towers start to push up, as soon as the infantry comes flying in, that's when the order will be given for like a full-on assault. We do actually have a unit retreating over here. So it seems like they're giving up on this rear passage with the Berserkers. They're going to bring these guys back. I wonder what we're going to do with these sappers as well. Like, these sappers would be very useful right here just to make a breach in the wall and pour through. Because it's not like the defenders have a lot of soldiers right now whatsoever. The Dale front line is looking extremely thin in the village as well. As more soldiers come up. Oh, we've got some Berserkers up here now. Some Berserkers being brought into the fight with some basically Goblin archers that I assume are out of ammunition to help support them. Absorb a little bit of that arrow fire coming in because the Berserkers are obviously so vulnerable to our arrow fire. But when they just get stuck in, they do some serious damage. They really do. And the thing is as well is that the forces of evil have the soldiers to waste right now. They have a pretty hefty number advantage, so they can kind of just, you know, throw them in at the opponents and allow them to break through. And the siege towers are starting to make their move forward. It's great to see the siege towers moving, you know, getting ready before pushing forward. You know, this is going to break. There is no doubt about it. The defenders have retreated back inside. The gates are closing, leaving this army of Dalian infantry to their fate. There's one Dale Bowman as well. It's like, oh crap, I'm out of here, boys. See you later. Anyone want anything from the McDonald's drive-thru? Well, he's off somewhere. He's off to destroy the One Ring or something. Yeah, these Dalian swordsmen have been left to their fate, and it's going to be a dark one, that is for sure. There is no aid coming from them this day. And as you can see, the forces of good don't really have a lot of ammunition left. They have like one unit of bows. Okay, I guess 2 units of bows really, you know, at half strength with a unit of javelins. So they're gonna kind of struggle. Oh, that's kind of awesome to see right here as well. The gates being closed behind the attacking Urukai. So there's no way for them to escape either. They will get cut down here. Slowly but surely. And I mean, as long as the Spearmen can keep the Dalians here, that's one less unit that the attackers have to worry about. So it's not kind of an awful thing for these Urukai scouts to be here whatsoever. They have also tried to push through this gate. And I imagine the burning oil will be coming down. There we go. Oh, that's brutal. That's going to be racking up some good kills in the back ranks. Basically, if I'm the Goblins, I just want to try and bum rush as many Goblins through this gap as I can to avoid that burning oil. Because that burning oil, look at it, reloads extremely quickly, right? And every single time it unleashes, it drops, you know, about 4 or 5 Goblins from this unit. So you basically just want to try and get through this gap as quickly as possible. I definitely think the burning oil should take a lot longer to come down. There is no way you could refill the pot. So it's kind of like a one-time use. But I guess that goes to show the importance of actually taking the gatehouse for sure. So nice, there has been a complete destruction right here of the attack, and now the siege towers are being brought up. We can kind of triple speed this a little bit, I guess, whilst the siege towers do get brought up. We've got some more javelin men put on the wall, but I don't think the javelins are going to get up there in time. I think we're going to find as soon as they get up there, they're going to go ahead and meet some pretty heavy axes from Isengard. If I go ahead and click that play button now, we can see that the siege tower is about to come down. It's not even Isengard axes. It's actually going to be the goblins. And yeah, the men are going to be running for their lives. Or are they? No, they're going to be meeting the goblins on the walls. which is a real shame if that's the case. I kind of feel like the walls are quite glitchy and the player wants to get them off. Because, yeah, an entire unit of javelins is going to be very important. Numbers-wise, it's still kind of at 2-1. It's not looking good with the defenders, but this is where they can make their stand. The Isengard rear attack has failed, so that frees up an entire unit of Dalian spears to come over, even though they are actually somehow they're fresh. I feel like the tiredness of units needs to be changed a little bit, because a unit's been fighting for like a good 10-15 minutes. It should be exhausted. Unlike these brave hobbits, the final unit of Baggins Guard, keeping the goblins at bay, the forces of evil back. What a brave group of hobbits. We can now see though the wall is being completely overrun. Are there any more exits? Yeah, I think this is exactly where this unit of goblins is going, over to these positions right here where they can try and, just stretch the defenders, because they just don't have the numbers to really, keep them back. The goblins are charging the walls of everything they've got here and making pretty good progress. I think they're just trying to bum rush into the unit of Dalian swords whilst they're just stationary on the walls. Yeah, you can see they're trying to like pull through as much as they can here. Get as many units into combat as possible, because that way you slowly grind down your opponents. Instead of fighting like in a choke point like this, where you're fighting like 4-on-4 constantly, they're trying to nullify that and just keep on bringing soldiers further and further through, as they have the numbers. I also wonder, are they trying to destroy the gates at all? Destroying these gates would be great also. Yeah, I think maybe this unit of sappers just got completely forgot about. It'd be huge right now to bring up a unit of sappers and like blow up this part of the wall, like blow up this part of the wall right here. That'd be absolutely massive. We have a very nice position though. Oh, that's perfect. Look at this this bow position right here. That is really well set up for them. Perfectly ready to, just fire in onto the wall, because not only do they have the wall at their disposal, they can kind of change their shots to and the trajectory, they also can quite easily fire in on the incoming forces up the ramp. So this is a very nice position for these bowmen, and I imagine they are reaping the benefits of it. How many kills have these bardings got? 200, and oh my god, that's a lot. Almost 300 kills. 300 kills very soon. And they're also killing a lot of the missiles, which is going to help the defenders keep this choke point a choke point. Obviously, getting these archers, I think, into position is also, going to be very crucial. You can see they're going to be shooting up there, into the sides. There's no real protection for these oncoming forces. So these bowmen may be able to get plenty of kills. How many kills are these bowmen on? 150. Not bad, not bad. Not quite as good as the bardings, but the bardings do have a pretty easy time of it. And there you go, the arrow fire coming up. Luckily, the defenders actually have set their soldiers up so they're not kind of facing sideways. They're actually protecting themselves somewhat from the arrow fire. And you can see the archers are immediately going to shoot these units engaged, as they do have their side exposed. But oh no, the goblins have broken through in the back. The Baggins Guard could not keep them at bay. And this gatehouse is going to be secured. And that's not going to be good for the defenders whatsoever. I mean, just taking a look at it, they don't really have a lot left in reserve. Did nothing come down here? I imagine the attackers would want to use this. I mean, the attackers are definitely looking pretty good, but there is a lot of time left in this battle. 17 minutes still. We might have to cut some of this battle out. I don't know if it's gonna, be that, if it's gonna, like, a lot of action's gonna happen towards the end of this. But, I mean, there's still a lot of time, so I'm expecting some crazy stuff. The defenders are definitely not going to give up without a fight, and these arrow volleys are definitely proving that. How many kills are these bardings on now? 300, and that number is going up extremely fast. That's brutal. And one of the great things about the bardings is that they're still pretty decent in melee combat. This unit on 200 kills as well. That's kind of one of the strengths of mostly all high-tier archers, is that they can actually do okay, especially against kind of, these are goblin heavy spears, so they're still fairly decent. But like even, especially up against the worse rabble units, The elite units can definitely, you know, take them down, the elite archer units. More javelins being brought around, and I wouldn't be surprised if we saw the javelins just firing into the back of these heavy goblin spears, because if the defenders can win back this position, then they can focus everything back over here. You can see quite quickly they've, you know, it's been a bit of a delayed assault. They've quite quickly moved these reinforcements around this side to quickly try and commit it here, seeing that this breach is happening. And they want to try their best to keep it going. They're reinforcing this side with 3 more units of infantry, which is definitely a smart idea. You know, I feel like it's never too late to commit these soldiers to these positions. It honestly wouldn't be a bad idea to send some men around the side. I think they desperately do need to try and destroy. Oh, they've been trying to destroy this gate, but the burning oil, man, is just brutal, killing, I think, all of them archers who have been hacking at the gate with everything they've got. How's this assault going? These Dalian swords are down under 100 men now, only 85 of them left. And the reason for that is because they're now being attacked by the White Hand Stormers. You can see them units from Isengard with them huge shields. They're going to be the real, you know, punching power for Isengard. They also have these awesome hook swords, which I imagine are kind of like used to like lock into shields and rip them away. Kind of like, or like maybe just get over a shield into the like shoulder plate or the back. Kind of like how Falxes were used. There's even some goblins as well. Some goblins are making their way down here, but they're going to quite quickly, I think, meet their fate. These goblins could even be routing, fleeing for their lives. Or maybe not. Maybe they're just trying to get around the side. I don't know if they are still alive. I think they are maybe just trying to get, you know, into this fight and start taking down and putting pressure on them. The reinforcements have arrived yet? Yeah, no. Oh, they must have, right? Yeah, 1 unit has now arrived to reinforce the side. Baggins Guard, though, still alive and actually recharging a unit of the spearmen back there. So even though the defenders are still heavily outnumbered, they are putting up a good fight, and they are fighting to the last as well. The Hobbits are proving their worth this day. How many kills is this unit on? Only 42. Man. At least, yeah, they pretended, they held the line. That's all I can say. You know, they held the line, even though they only got 42 kills. They were still here to the end, right? I think, though, it's going to look quite dire as soon as some more infantry start coming through that gate. Especially with Berserkers here as well, even though some of them are facing the wrong way. Yeah, there you go. Oh, that does not look good. More Uruk-hai about to come flying through that gate. And these are half-decent Uruk-hai infantry as well, so that's going to definitely aid to the problems. But they have managed to break these heavy goblin spears, which is going to allow them to kind of tighten up this front a little bit better. Is the burning oil still going as well? I think the burning oil stopped. No, it's still going, and they need to make sure that stops, because the longer that burning oil goes on, the worse it's going to be. Luckily, they are just pushing in to the settlement. I'm really surprised no one's gone over to this kind of stairways and tried to get down this side. But I would imagine that maybe they just can't. It's kind of glitchy or something. How many kills do you guys reckon that this unit is on now? 400 kills on the Bardings, and they still have a couple shots left. They're trying to kill these crossbows that are making their way onto the walls. The attackers are taking full advantage of securing these walls by putting their own missiles up here. And that's going to allow them to basically just speed through these defenders and kill a lot of the soldiers who are waiting down in defensive positions. Wow, what the hell happened to the reinforcements that are coming over here? Did they break already? Did they die? What the hell happened? Oh no, the sword. Okay, for a second I was like, what the hell happened to that swordsman unit? But it came into over here and basically looking to break through here. And I think that's probably the smartest decision, because the main part of the army is still kind of sitting outside of the settlement in the village. Or not the main part, but a decent amount of the troops. So if you could get them to flood inside the city by opening up this breach point, then you're probably going to have a good time of it and close out this battle a lot quicker. But the Bardings and the Marksmen of Dale are keeping the enemy at bay. I'm super surprised that this unit of swordsmen have held for this long. With only 200 kills, but they've still managed to keep the line. And yeah, now this is going to be kind of detrimental to the defenders. Even though they are being shot in the back, these crossbows can now start shooting the men on the ground, which is going to be huge. Because you're going to see this unit just very quickly go down. The morale is going to dip because they're taking missile fire. And that's not going to be too good for them. They really need to try and commit these swordsmen, you know, kind of maybe through this gap and try and surround them here, or do something. I guess maybe their main focus is to kill these heavy goblin spears and free up the entire, you know, 2 divisions that they have back here. They also have some archers of ammunition left I think they really need to use. So it seems like they're going to be tasked with Dunedain, they're going to be tasked with taking out this heavy goblin spear unit, and more swordsmen are going to be brought to the fight over here, being sent in through the small streets. You can see that right through there, through someone's garden, and now into the back of the Uruk-hai infantry. Definitely a good move right there. Definitely a good move. The crossbows, however, are decimating this unit of Dale. I think when we started, they were on 140, and now they're down to 80, and that number is dropping pretty quickly. Every single volley that comes in is finding its mark. These Bardings have now run out of ammunition. Almost 500 kills on them. That's insane. And now they're going to come over and get into the melee party. The goblins have been routed at the rear gate, which is extremely good for the defenders, and it's much needed because now they can send these forces back to the main assault, trying to hold them back. But as you can see, them crossbows have started to take their toll with these archers getting very low. Reinforcements of the Bardings is going to be very helpful on the walls, but for the most part the walls have kind of been secure, at least the most important part on the stairs, so the attackers can start to bring infantry down, and I think that's exactly what they're doing. We're also moving more of these crossbows around, I guess, to maybe try and kill the Baggins Guard. No, the poor hobbits seem like they don't really have much way to escape this one, and with more and more arrow fire coming in, I think the days are numbered. They are looking to take down as many Uruk-hai as possible though, with a perfect envelopment here. And these Bardings actually have some ammunition left, so they're going to shoot point blank a firing squad set up into these Uruk-hai, and that's going to kill quite a few of them at this range into their sides without that shield protecting them. Yeah, that's going to do some great damage. You can see their numbers going down very quickly. They're already shaken, so yeah, they're actually going to probably end up breaking fairly soon because of the casualties sustained. But it's also, you know, absorbing a fair amount of its ammunition as well. But now, yeah, this is exactly what I was kind of scared of, is more reinforcements turning up and really just pushing down these stairs. Because if they can make kind of like a beachhead by these stairs, they can quite quickly get more and more and more and more men out. And then at that point, the defenders just can't really hold it. You can see that's exactly what they're trying to do, right? They're probably going to look to try and take this gate so they can get the rest of their men in. No, did the Baggins Guard go down? They did! You scummy crossbows, killing the poor hobbits. But yeah, they're going to kind of make their way over to this gatehouse and then just kind of flood in with the last of their units. And with that gatehouse going down, I don't really see the defenders standing a chance whatsoever. Obviously, it's going to be, you know, still having to kill them all. But as soon as the gate opens up, yeah, they're going to be able to pour in, and it's just going to probably be the Bardings on the wall left remaining. This has definitely been a bloody battle by these stairs, though. And they're definitely not like, you know, out of steam quite yet. They've managed to clear out another unit of the Uruk-hai swords. But with the gatehouse being secured by Isengard, they can now bring in the rest of their forces. If pathfinding will allow them to get into the gate. Doesn't seem like it's liking them too much trying to break through this gate at all. The crossbow fire is coming in. I think they're firing the last couple shots from them bowmen. And it seems like maybe they can't even get through this gate. It must just be bugged or something. They should maybe try and destroy it now. Wouldn't be a bad idea. Definitely saving a battering ram for this gate would have been a great idea. But for now, they're just putting up their last stand. We're getting a very nice outflank right here. We'll go back onto normal speed. A very good outflank here by the Isengard General, coming around the side, just running through this barn, looking to smash them with the help of the Berserkers. This will definitely be the last stand of them, and I think all that's going to remain is definitely going to be these Bardings. I'm surprised that there's still 4 minutes left of this battle, if I'm honest. We might have to skip towards that because, yeah, there's literally just these Bardings left who are probably going to be on like 600 kills by the end of this. They're already on 533, so it's not going to be too long until they hit that 600 mark. But let's go ahead and skip to, you know, a little bit towards the end of the battle, because I don't want to sit here for 3 minutes whilst these guys just fight. I mean, it is a brave last stand, but, you know, it's just going to be a choke point. So let's skip towards the end of the battle, and we'll see how many kills they end up on. Okay, so the battle is finally coming to a close. The Bardings held very well. Still over 90 soldiers, I say that as they drop underneath it. But they managed to hold extremely well and rack up 610 kills. The Dalian bowmen can just be so deadly sometimes if they are left to, you know, unleash their entire quivers of arrows and then get their swords out. They can definitely be probably one of the deadliest units in Rise of Mordor, honestly. The poor hobbits, though, fought bravely. Only like 50 kills on the general. And, I mean, to be fair, for some Shire fieldsmen, they still managed to get, you know, 20 kills. I guess that's not too bad at the end of the day. Anyone else getting anything crazy? The goblins are doing pretty decent. 300 kills on that unit. 320 on the heavy pikes, which is not bad. Over on the Dalian forces, yeah, look at all the bowmen. Over 300 kills on most of them, which is naughty for sure. So if you guys enjoy this battle, be sure to drop a like and a comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.